Every town has its legends, and ours was Morgue Manor. This decrepit mansion loomed over our town, its silhouetted peaks haunting the skyline. Local rumors swirled of its dark history, of family tragedies and eerie occurrences. Sarah, Jack, Brian, and I decided one October evening to experience the manor. Equipped with nothing but torchlights and a thirst for adventure, we approached the imposing edifice. The chilling winds whispered tales of bygone eras, setting the mood for our escapade. As we stepped into the dusty grand hall, it felt as if time had stopped. Every corner told a story. Paintings stared back, lifeless statues seemed to breathe, and the grandfather clock ticked away in relentless monotony. The manor was a maze of corridors, each leading to rooms that showcased a different epoch. In one chamber, an ornate music box played a lullaby, while in another, portraits of the manor's inhabitants shifted their eyes, following our every move. Sarah was particularly entranced by a room filled with vintage dolls. They sat in a circle, their glass eyes reflecting our torchlight. We were sure we saw some blink, and the air grew colder, filled with childlike giggles. Brian, an avid reader, gravitated towards the mansion's library. Ancient books hovered mid-air, their pages turning to recount tales of love, loss, and betrayal. We listened in rapt attention, getting lost in stories as the hours slipped by. The heart of the mansion was its ballroom, where spectral figures danced eternally. There was sadness in their movements. Jack, being a romantic, imagined they were lovers, forever separated by a cruel twist of fate but united in this ghostly dance. In our exploration, we stumbled upon a forgotten wing. The air here was oppressive. This was the heart of the mansion's dark past. Cells hinted at prisoners, chains spoke of their torment, and faint cries echoed, chilling our bones. We tried to retrace our steps, but the manor's ever-shifting walls thwarted us. At every turn, something new emerged. A cursed jewelry box, a haunted mirror reflecting grotesque versions of ourselves, and a candlelit seance room where spirits communicated through eerie mediums. Time lost meaning. We felt days turn to nights and seasons change. But when we found the garden, things took a turn. Dead trees came to life, twisted figures lurked in the shadows, and a cursed well in the center seemed to beckon us. Pulling her back to reality, we encountered the manor's caretaker, an old hunchbacked figure. He spoke in riddles, offering cryptic clues to find our way out. Following his words, we navigated through secret passageways and hidden doors. At last, we reached the manor's main entrance, but our exit was blocked by the spirits of the manor's original inhabitants. They weren't hostile, rather they wanted to share their tales, seeking closure for their unsettled souls. As dawn approached, the spirits faded and the manor's enchantment weakened. We finally stepped out, the first light of day warming our faces. The weight of the night's ordeal was heavy, but we were bound together by the shared experience. News of our adventure spread, and Morgue Manor became a focal point of local lore. We visited it occasionally, paying our respects and ensuring no other unsuspecting soul got trapped as we did. But the manor had left its mark. At night, we'd sometimes hear whispers, see shadowy figures, or dream of the mansion's haunted halls. The boundary between the manor's world and ours had blurred. Years later, as the stories faded and the manor crumbled, our bond remained strong. Each October, we'd gather, reminiscing about that fateful night, forever etched in our memories. Morgue Manor might have been abandoned by the world, but for us it was very much alive, a testament to our youthful bravery and the mysteries that the universe holds. To this day, on quiet nights, if you listen closely, you can hear the distant echo of a music box, the soft rustle of pages turning, and the eternal dance of ghostly figures, keeping Morgue Manor's legacy alive. Every summer, Carnival mystique would set up at the edge of our small town. Its larger-than-life attractions drew crowds from miles around. The twinkling lights, mesmerizing rides, and the aroma of buttery popcorn and sweet cotton candy were irresistible. One particular summer, whispers circulated about a secret attraction. It wasn't listed on any map or brochure, and anyone who claimed to have experienced it would only speak of it in hushed tones, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement. My friends Alex, Maria, Sam, and I decided to investigate one evening. As the carnival buzzed with life, we scoured every corner, hunting for any hint or clue about this clandestine feature. It was Alex who stumbled upon the entrance. Hidden behind thick velvet drapes near the Hall of Mirrors, a small hand-painted sign read, "The Pavilion of Forgotten Dreams. Enter if you dare." With trepidation, we stepped inside. The room was dark, save for a dimly glowing orb in the center. Around it, intricate patterns of sand swirled and danced. creating ever-changing landscapes and stories. A figure emerged from the shadows. Madame Lysandra, the Carnival's famed seer. "This pavilion," she began, her voice dripping with mystery, "shows not your future but your forgotten past, dreams lost to time, and memories you've left behind." One by one we approached the orb. Sam went first. As he drew near, the sands depicted a young boy standing alone at a previous carnival, tears streaming down his face. It was a memory of when he was lost as a child, a memory he had buried deep down. Maria stepped up next. The sands painted an image of her with a girl we didn't recognize. They laughed, hugged, and danced. Tears welled up in Maria's eyes as she recalled her childhood friend who moved away, their bond seemingly erased by distance and time. Alex's vision was more abstract. The sands showed the pages of a diary filled with sketches and poems being washed away by rain. It represented the stories he never shared, the art he had given up on. When it was my turn, I hesitated but finally approached. The sands swirled violently, showing a montage of family gatherings, moments of love and laughter. But then they changed to show arguments, missed calls, and doors slamming, the family bond I had taken for granted and lost. We left the pavilion in silence, each processing the depths of our past and the memories unveiled. It wasn't the thrill we expected, but it was an experience that resonated deeply, urging us to acknowledge and cherish our past. Outside, the carnival continued in its frenzied pace, but we felt detached, like we had experienced something profound, an emotion deeper than the superficial thrill of the rides. In the days that followed, we found ourselves acting on our revelations. Sam visited the carnival with his younger siblings, ensuring they never felt the isolation he once did. Maria reached out to her long-lost friend, reigniting their bond. Alex began sharing his art with the world, and I made amends with my family, cherishing every moment together. The next year, when Carnival Mystique returned, we searched for the Pavilion of Forgotten Dreams, but it was nowhere to be found. We asked Madame Lysandra, but she only smiled mysteriously and said, "Some experiences are meant to be ephemeral, but their lessons last a lifetime." The carnival's secret attraction may have vanished, but its impact on us remained. It served as a poignant reminder of the memories we overlook and the importance of acknowledging, embracing, and learning from our past. To this day, whenever the carnival's familiar sights and sounds envelop our town, amidst the joy and thrill, we remember that hidden pavilion. It's a testament to the power of memories, the pain of forgotten dreams, and the hope of second chances. In our town, the Moonlit Festival was an annual event, one that had taken place for as long as anyone could remember. Every year, on the night of the full moon, the town square would transform into a dazzling display of lights, music, and dance. This particular year, however, a new attraction was rumored to have been added: the Labyrinth of Echoes. No one knew what it was, but excitement buzzed in the air as townsfolk whispered about the mysterious maze that only appeared when the moon was its brightest. Curious, my sister Lila and I, along with our friends Jake and Mia, decided to visit the festival one evening. As we entered the town square, the sights and sounds of the festival engulfed us, but our eyes were set on finding the entrance to the enigmatic labyrinth. Near the heart of the square, an archway stood, draped in shimmering silver cloth and guarded by a tall figure wearing a moon mask. A sign beside him read, "Enter the Labyrinth of Echoes, unravel the sound of your soul." Entranced, we stepped inside. It was a hedge maze, but unlike any we'd seen before. The pathways glowed with a soft luminescence, and every step we took echoed with harmonious notes. As we delved deeper, things started to change. The echoes began to morph, turning into familiar voices and sounds from our past. Mia heard the laughter of her grandmother, who she'd lost years ago. Jake heard the echo of his own voice from his childhood, singing a lullaby he'd long forgotten. Lila, as we walked down one path, froze. The sounds around her transformed into whispers, fragments of conversations she'd had, secrets she'd shared, and dreams she'd confided in me. The labyrinth was laying her soul bare, and the weight of the memories held her in place. I reached out, holding her hand, and we listened together. The voices weren't there to expose, but to remind, to reflect the journey she'd traveled and the bonds she'd formed. Suddenly, the maze began to shift. Paths changed, hedges moved, and soon, the four of us were separated. Alone in the labyrinth, I began to hear my own echoes. They were faint at first, the distant laugh of a friend, the rustling of leaves from a long-ago summer, and then the soft lullaby our mother used to sing. As I followed the sound, I was led to the center of the maze where a serene pond lay. Its waters reflected the full moon, but beneath the surface I could see ripples, each giving life to an echo, a memory. One by one, Lila, Mia, and Jake joined me, each drawn to the pond by their own echoes. We realized that the maze wasn't just a puzzle to solve. It was a journey through our memories, our emotions, and the very essence of our beings. As the night wore on, we exited the labyrinth of echoes with a renewed appreciation for our past and the echoes that shaped us. The festival outside continued in its moonlit splendor, but we carried with us the melody of memories, a tune that only the labyrinth could play. In the years that followed, the Moonlit Festival continued its traditions, but the labyrinth of echoes was never seen again. However, for those who entered it that one fateful night, its melodies remained, a haunting reminder of the echoes of our past and the music of our souls. Tales about the old fairground located just outside of town had always circulated among the locals. It was said that every decade, for just one night, the abandoned amusement park would come alive with ghostly apparitions and phantom rides. On the 30th anniversary of its closure, my friends Alex, Sarah, and I decided to explore the legend. We drove to the desolate location, armed with flashlights and a palpable sense of excitement. As we approached the rusty gates, an unexpected cold breeze swirled around us, sending chills down our spines. The entrance sign, though tarnished by time, eerily lit up, displaying "Welcome to the Forgotten Fairground." Once inside, we noticed that everything looked pristine, as if the fairground was still in operation. The rides seemed intact, stalls were filled with untouched cotton candy, and distant carnival music played from an unknown source. Drawn to the grand carousel in the center, we watched as ghostly figures rode the ornate horses, their transparent forms swirling in a dance of light and shadow. The tune of the carousel was hauntingly beautiful, like a lullaby from another world. Sarah, always the adventurous one, stepped onto the carousel, and as she did, her image started to blur. Panicking, Alex and I reached out to pull her back, but our hands passed through her as if she had become one with the apparitions. We frantically searched for a way to bring her back. A whispering voice led us to the Hall of Mirrors, where reflections from the past and future melded. Inside, amidst the maze of mirrors, we found a reflection of the fairground from 30 years ago. Captured in one mirror was the image of a young girl, Sarah's doppelganger, trapped and crying. Realizing the connection, Alex shattered the mirror, and as the shards fell, the apparition of Sarah on the carousel slowly returned to her tangible form. But the fairground didn't appreciate our interference. The rides began to spin uncontrollably, the stalls caught fire, and the ground shook with an otherworldly rage. The distant carnival music now sounded sinister, urging us to leave. We raced towards the exit with the vengeful spirit of the fairground hot on our heels. Just as we reached the gates, the entire place plunged into darkness and silence enveloped the night. Panting, we looked back to see the old, dilapidated fairground as it truly was, silent, forgotten, and very much abandoned. Sarah, though shaken, was back to her normal self, but she had no memory of what had transpired. We vowed never to return to the Forgotten Fairground, a place where time melded and spirits roamed. The town's tales were not just stories, they were warnings. In the years that followed, no one dared venture near the old fairground. And every decade from a distance, faint carnival tunes would remind the townsfolk of the spirits that lingered, waiting for the next unsuspecting visitor to the whispers of the Forgotten Fairground. Perched atop a lonely hill overlooking the town of Hollow Creek, stood the decrepit building of what once was the infamous Hollow Creek Asylum. For years, it remained a dark beacon of chilling tales and rumored hauntings, its history marred by stories of patient abuse, mysterious deaths, and strange occurrences. My childhood friend Clara always had a macabre fascination with the place. On the eve of its 50th anniversary of abandonment, she rallied our old group, Luke, Melanie, Peter, and I, for a night-long exploration of the asylum. We were to document its remnants and perhaps uncover truths of the eerie tales. Equipped with cameras, torches, and a pinch of skepticism, we pushed the creaky gates open. An overwhelming sense of dread washed over us, but we chalked it up to nerves and anticipation. As we entered the main hall, the air turned cold and our torchlights flickered, casting distorted shadows against the cracked walls. Melanie, a self-proclaimed medium, insisted we begin with the underground patient cells, where the worst of the worst were rumored to be held. The descent into the cellars was marked by an increasing intensity of despair. The walls felt as if they were closing in, and we could hear faint whispers of anguish echoing through the chambers. Reaching the end of a narrow corridor, we found a sealed cell, its door distinctively marked with myriad talismanic symbols. Clara, always in pursuit of a story, decided we should open it. As Peter and Luke worked at the rusted lock, Melanie began to mumble incoherent words, her eyes rolling back. The moment the cell door creaked open, an overpowering gust of wind blew out our torches, plunging us into darkness. Our cameras malfunctioned, their screens only displaying static. In the pitch black, we could feel a presence among us, an entity not of our world. A blood-curdling scream resonated through the halls, followed by a chilling voice chanting an indecipherable incantation. Panic set in. We scrambled to exit the cellar, but the layout of the asylum had shifted. Hallways turned into never-ending loops, stairs leading to dead ends and doors opening into brick walls. Luke, in his frantic state, disappeared around a corner and was lost to us. We called out, but only our own echoes responded. In one room, we found paintings depicting each of us, aged and distorted with hollow eyes. Below each portrait, a plaque with a date, today's date. Desperation consumed us. Melanie, succumbing to whatever force was present, began speaking in multiple voices, recounting gruesome tales of the asylum's past. Clara, guilt-stricken and terrified, muttered apologies, believing she had unleashed a dormant evil. Hours seemed like days as we navigated the twisted maze, but in our darkest hour, a glimmer of hope appeared. An old patient, a spectral figure, beckoned us. While initially hesitant, our desperation overcame our fear. The spirit led us through a series of hidden passages, all the while murmuring about finding his release. Emerging into the main hall, the first rays of dawn greeted us. But our ordeal wasn't over. The spirit, gaining form and strength in the light, demanded a trade, a soul for our freedom. Clara, feeling responsible, stepped forward, but Melanie, channeling her abilities, began a counter-chant. An ethereal battle ensued, filling the hall with blinding light and deafening sounds. The ground quaked and the walls threatened to crumble. Then, as suddenly as it began, silence fell. The spirit, along with Clara and Melanie, vanished. The asylum stood still, its terror seemingly at bay. The remnants of our group, shattered and traumatized, fled the grounds of Hollow Creek Asylum, vowing to never return. The town, after hearing of our night, sealed off the asylum permanently. To this day, the shadows of Hollow Creek Asylum loom large over the town. Luke was never found, and Clara and Melanie's fates remain a mystery. On some nights, if you listen closely, you can hear the haunting chants, forever echoing the terror of that harrowing night. In the shadows of the night, if our tales from unsettling horror stories gave you a fright, press like and let it be known. Subscribe, so you're never alone in this haunting journey, and share, so others too can be wary. Until our next sinister tale, stay dark, dear listener.